Are those chains enough to keep him bound? He's a lot more powerful than he seems. What if he really breaks free? Jade asked. Don't worry. Our chains are all forged from dark steel and are designed to withstand any force. Not even an elephant would be able to break free, let alone a human. Now that he's bound, he won't be able to get away from them without the key, the round-faced man said confidently. He'd seen his fair share of powerful martial artists. None of them had successfully broken free from the dark steel chains. Well, that's good to know. Jade sighed in relief. However, the words were barely out of her mouth when she heard the sound of the chains breaking. She whipped around to look at Dustin. He'd only stretched, but the chains already lay at his feet in pieces. What the fuck? The round-faced man was so shocked that he dropped his pastry. Jade also looked dumbfounded. What happened to the chains being made of dark steel and able to withstand any force? How could Dustin have snapped them so easily? The round-faced man quickly returned to his senses and commanded, "Hurry up and circle him." At his command, the armed soldiers dashed over and surrounded Dustin. He looked unruffled, though. "Relax, I just want to eat." He plopped onto the floor and started eating the food placed there. The round-faced man gaped at him. What the hell was this brat capable of? How could he be so relaxed when so many guns were aimed at him? When Dustin was done eating, he was chained and bound again. This time, however, double the number of chains were used. He resembled a tucko by the time they were done with him. Even so, the round-faced man didn't let his guard down. He had his men keep an eye on Dustin at all times. If Dustin were to make any false moves, he would immediately be shot. After a long time, a military-use jeep entered the military base and stopped at the drill ground. A skinny, middle-aged man got out leisurely. Despite his thin stature, his aura gave one the chills, and his eyes made one's hair stand on end. Jade's mind went blank when she met his eyes. She felt like she'd caught the eye of a savage beast who would pounce on her at any moment. A trace of fear bubbled up from the depths of her heart. "Mr. Blood Beast." The round-faced man hurried forward with a bright smile when he saw him. "Forgive me for not giving you a proper welcome. It's a pleasure to see you here. Let's cut to the chase, General Jenkins. I've been bored lately, and it's time to spice things up. Where's the tough cookie you mentioned?" Blood Beast didn't beat around the bush. "Right here. He's the one bound to the pillar." The round-faced man pointed at Dustin. Blood Beast's gaze traveled in the direction he pointed. He squinted at Dustin and said, "Odd. He seems rather familiar. Small world, isn't it? The fact that he's familiar to you means you two were destined to meet. I only hope you'll show him a good time, Mr. Bloodbeast." The round-faced man smiled menacingly. Bloodbeast chuckled. "Why, of course. It's my pleasure, and I'll only be doing what I love. I hope he doesn't disappoint." He pulled out a canvas bag and poured its contents out. There were various delicate-looking instruments of torture. They were shaped oddly. Most people would live out their lives without laying eyes on them. Only members of the Ministry of Penalties would know what these instruments meant. The more delicate they were, the more horrific the results they produced.